G'day everyone, my name's Cautious Pancake, and today I'm going to be taking on the Glock 9 wood base challenge, where I need to build a horde base using a single stack of 6,000 wood. Now, he did say at the end of his video that he's open to AFK bases if we can do them with wood, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. But be warned, if you're not a fan of the cheese, you might want to look away, as I intend for this base to be the stuffed crust of cheese bases. The concept of the base that I want to build is a modified version of my infinity stairs base, pushed out and away from the central base, using the testing that I did on cop spit distances that established that while cops will spit from a distance of 15 blocks during the day, during horde night they will spit from anywhere up to and including 25 blocks away. As a result, the elevated path needs to be on at least the 26th block away from where I'm standing. Now, since that's going to mean roughly 52 blocks a side, all four sides will use a bit over 200 blocks. And at 10 wood per block, that's 1/3 of the available wood just for the path, let alone the supports, central tower, and any other mechanisms that we need to drop the zombies so they don't actually come knocking on my door. So hopefully I'm packing enough wood. Now, I don't expect this to work first go. AFK builds generally aren't very forgiving, as they will usually work for a bit until they fail catastrophically, but hopefully I can get this one working in a few tries. Enough excuses anyway, let's check out how this is supposed to work. If we turn on God mode and zoom right out, we can see that the base is a central pillar in the middle, in which we will be standing and hiding from the horde. Zombies will run up this ramp and follow the path all the way around the three sides until they get to this zombie dropper. The zombie dropper is elevated off the ground and consists of 4 separate rows in case we lose any to zombie hits. The zombies will fall down into the space underneath and then run over to the ramp to start the loop all over again. With the path set at 26 blocks, there should be no cop spit aimed at the central tower, which means that in theory, there's going to be very little damage done to the base anywhere along the path. That's all well and said in theory, so let's give it a test and see how we go. Just waiting for the horde to run in now. Here they come. I've cranked up the brightness, so hopefully everyone can see what's going on. Lighting on a base this big doesn't work particularly well, so I've gone with this approach instead. As you can see, the zombies are running over to the start of the path as expected, starting their way around. We've got one front runner out here, a hazmat zombie. Everybody else is making their way as quickly as they can, usually blocked by a cop or someone a bit slower. Our first test of the drop. That works just fine. Everybody else is still just starting the path, and the hazmat zombie runs straight over and joins up with the rest of them. Perfect. So far so good. Just waiting on a few more to come over now. Next test of the drop. And that's similarly looking okay. We're going to get a bit of zombie stacking there. Probably more so in the upper groups. Now, where are you going? Okay. That's not expected. And not an isolated incident. Why are you all coming over here? That's miles away from your path. You're well outside the 11 block range, at least where you fall. Well, this isn't good. And a demo running over isn't going to be good, because he'll one-shot the block. There you go. Wood blocks definitely get one-shot by demos. And we've also got someone up and smashing on the front door. So the zombie dropper, there you go. When there's lots of zombies coming through, it doesn't hold up as well as would be wanted. You can see there as they all stand on each other's heads, it's just not high enough, and with the block limitation I'm not keen on trying to make that super tall, so we might just have to live with that as it is and see if we can find a secondary drop after that first one to catch any stragglers that get through. In the meantime, I think this is pretty much game over for this run, as they're going to get through that wood door any second now. Well, since that didn't work, let's try attempt number 2. You can see that I've added in 3 additional zombie droppers on the path, so that anybody that gets past should fall down one of those before they get to the door. I've also added my favourite pipe-thin blocks just as frames, as they can sometimes act as a deterrent to stop zombies seeing a path even exists. In this case, I'm not super confident that it's going to work, since at the point that the zombies are hitting on the side of the base there, they're not looking to path through there, they're just looking to rage. Still, we'll give it a go. Test out these 2 options and see how things go. We've got a different starting position this time for the horde. They're all going to try and run past, but I don't expect they're all just going to run past because we're definitely not outside the 11 block rage mode limit at this point. And sure enough, they are going to town on those wood frames. So I think we can bust the theory that the wood frames are going to help. But we'll let this test go on for a little bit longer. We need to check that the secondary zombie droppers are working. And we need to still have a look at whether or not that was an isolated incident where the zombies ran over from the main zombie drop, or whether they keep doing that here as well. And sure enough, they're going to keep doing that here as well, because that hazmat zombie has run straight over and started going to town. So what I think is happening there is that although the zombies are falling down well outside of the 11 block limit for rage mode, they've realised that if they run 15 blocks out of their way, they will get within the 11 block range for rage mode, and they can then successfully do their rage mode right then and there. When they finish their rage mode, they've still got 25 to 50 blocks to get back over to the start of the path, but that doesn't seem to be causing them a problem. So there's a bit of an extension to the 11 block rule for rage mode, and that's that they will take an alternate path to get to you, even if that's never going to actually reach you. As long as they can get within that 11 blocks to go on a bit of a rage mode rampage, they seem happy to do that. Whoop. And we've got a rad janitor who has hit the secondary drop-off, so that's working just as expected, and I think that will solve the problem of zombies going over the first drop-off and getting through to the door. So heaps more zombies running over, definitely not to fix things from the rage mode point of view, but I think we have worked out at least what's going on there. Ooh, and a spider zombie has made it up to the top of the ramp there just by jumping. So that's another problem that we want to try and resolve. I don't think that we want spider zombies getting up there. You can actually see the zombies tunneling under. So I suspect this one is now going to be game over for me as well, as the zombies come up underneath. And there we go. Okay, let's see if third time's the charm. Jumping over our own spikes, you can see that we've modified the zombie droppers a little bit just to smooth them out with some ramps and keep the zombies nice and low at the beginning, which helps with the drop off there. We've removed the central tower and made it into a true tower, but without any sides, walls or roofs, because at 13 blocks off the ground we should be out of rage mode, which should take care of most of our zombie rage issues smashing on the bottom of the pillar, but will introduce the occasional risk of cop spit, mostly at the beginning of Horde Night as they're running past. Looking at the zombie dropper, we've made a few modifications. We've added an extra redundancy, so we've now got 5 options here. We've also sloped some of the blocks underneath to reduce the chance that they get hit, and added a second row in the back in case any of those front blocks get knocked out. For the main path, apparently even with shoes and socks off I can only count to 20, and it wasn't actually 26 blocks away from the central path when I checked, so I have moved that out a little bit as well. At the top of the pillar, we've got a last little bit of spikes just in case we need it, and those railings on the side are still only wood blocks, even though they look like iron. That's just the default paint that's applied as you place them down. Okay, let's kick into Horde Night now. Here we go. We've already got a cop coming through here that's going to be within spit distance, but he has missed, thankfully. Better put some ammo in our rifle. Here comes the next one. Ooh, that has not missed. And I've caught that one in the face. And that one has taken out a block, but that's okay. Once those cops move off, we might just give him a bit of a shot to keep on moving. He's coming over. Did he do anything? No, I think he's run away again. So that's okay. Do a bit of running repairs while we're here. You can see we've got a little bit of wood left. We didn't use all of it. Oops, damaging my own base. You can see the zombies are again mostly trying to figure out how to get to us. One zombie stuck over there, just trying to figure out what to do. That's sorted him out. Anybody else having pathing issues? Just one. Okay, I think everybody's now successfully up on the path. They've already been dropping a little bit. I could put some spikes down to stop me falling off, but I won't bother. And as you can see, while we've been messing around with that, we haven't had any zombies running over to the bottom of the tower. Now that we're 13 blocks off the ground, even if they were to run over, they wouldn't get within rage mode. So they're correctly returning to what I had thought was the standard functionality. Hello, dear. and they're not actually coming over to try and smash on our base, which is good. It's exactly what we wanted. They're still piling a little bit up under the zombie dropper. Some of them seem to be dancing around or jumping around there, a little bit lost as to what to do next. But that's okay as well. There's no pillar there for them to smash on. And for the most part, they're not up high enough to reach the box at the top of the wood dropper, so that's good. Everybody's just tracking normally. Now, while you could definitely sit up here and snipe away through the Horde Knight, I'm not going to do that because that would simply just show off how inaccurate a shot I am with the rifle. So instead, I'm going to detach the camera and fast forward through to show that we can fully AFK a Horde Knight with a wood base made from less than 6,000 wood. Well, that's Horde Night over. You can see from watching Horde Night that we've lost those 2 blocks. I'm not sure if we've lost anything else. We'll have to go in and have a look, a bit more thorough damage assessment in a minute. What we're going to do to get away from the Horde. I'm not set up for fighting 64 zombies with a sniper rifle and very, very few skills assigned. So what we're going to do instead is jump our way out, leg it across the road to get away from the zombies, then come back and see what's happened once they've despawned. Okay, heading back in, we'll get about our stone axe just so that we can see what damage there's been. There's a few little hits, 60 damage off there. A few of the blocks at the beginning of the path here have also taken a bit of a hit, but for the most part, it's okay. 50 damage or so there. Another one with 25 damage or so. As you can see, it's not every block, it's just every now and then. That one took a bit of a damage. Not sure why that one would have got focused. Obviously, if any single one of these blocks is destroyed, the entire path for the zombies is lost, and the base will completely fail. They'll all stop immediately and run into the middle and start smashing on the central tower. Over on the zombie dropper, we've lost that one block in the middle there, but because it's got blocks behind it, it's still a valid path. And a few of the other half plates have taken a little bit of damage, but not too bad. We've also lost the block of the pillar below there. Thankfully there's enough stability support from the other pillars to keep the base standing upright. Bits of damage over there, but I don't think anyone made it past that dropper. Knock this out so I don't impale myself. And a little bit of damage there. Nothing up on the ramp. And we did lose those few blocks right at the beginning where the cops spattered us. But other than that, we're looking in pretty good shape. Dropping down the bottom, you can see that there's no damage to the base of the tower really, showing that the zombies didn't come over and rage. Again, just a little bit from the beginning perhaps on that one block there. And most of the other support pillars are looking pretty good. That one's the one that copped the worst of it. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. So that's my solution to the Glock 9 wood base challenge, an AFK base that holds up extremely well over the Horde 9. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed the video and let me know in the comments below what you think. I know it's not a combat base and that it doesn't have a lot of practical use, but please take it in the sense of fun that it's intended. If you'd like to see more Horde based videos like this one, please consider subscribing, and as always, thanks for watching and happy building.
Retreat!